Whether you're working on lowering your handicap or just trying to keep the ball on the fairway, one thing is for sure. The 19th hole is always worth showing up for. And that's where Dan Murphy's steps in. Proud sponsors of Make Me Good at Golf, Dan's has the perfect post-round drinks thanks to their lowest liquor price guarantee. You know you're getting unbeatable value every time, just like your golf game. They're all about bringing those numbers down in the best possible way. So swing by your local store or shop online. Dan Murphy's, where low scores and low prices go hand in hand. T's and C's apply. Remember to drink wise, even if your handicap is a work in progress.
Welcome to another episode of Make Me Good at Golf, a golfing podcast where three friends get together and try and improve their game of golf. And we're inviting you along for the ride. Joining me today, as always, Mr. 71, his highest test score, his lowest ever golf score, Damien Fleming.
Thanks, long ball. Very excited to be here again today.
Indeed. I am Long Ball Lehmo. Sounds weird when you name yourself.
No, it doesn't. Be proud of it.
Own it.
I am Long Ball. And the newly anointed Mr. 43, Peter Hellier.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Fresh off my winning the comp at Q Golf Club with Sam Pang. So very excited by that. But I'm excited about today's episode because we have one of my absolute favourites, one of my favourite people. I joined Channel 10 all the way back in the year 2000. And around that time, there was a man, he was heating up the screens on Neighbours at the time, and I was about to say his name, but I will say his name. It's Dan MacPherson. And then, he has gone, like I will say this before we bring him in, that I've always said that if I looked like Dan MacPherson, if I had the talent of Dan MacPherson, I wouldn't be as nice as Dan MacPherson. I can tell you that. He is one of the nicest blokes you could possibly meet, talented as all get out, and he joins us now. He's in a new movie called Beast. We want to chat to him about it, and he's a big golfing fan as well. Dan MacPherson, D-Mac, how are you, mate?
Yes, Dan.
What an honour to be here. In the middle or the end of a press tour, but to get to hang out with my mates and talk golf. I wish we had more of this in the last 4 months.
Dan, we will get to this, what looks like an incredible film shortly, but let's talk golf first, because this is a golf podcast. Give us the headlines in your golfing journey. When did you first pick up a club? How often do you play, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah. Used to jump the fence at Woolooware Golf Course when I was in my teens.
Yep.
And whack around at Woolooware.
Which is where?
Near Cronulla, down where I grew up. I grew up down in Cronulla, south of Sydney. Yep. Woolooware, really nice, 18 holes, public course down there. Was not great at it, but used to hang out with my mates. Then when I was in Melbourne doing Neighbours, I used to play with Ian Smith, who played Harold.
Oh, yes.
Great man.
I jumped out with Smithy. Is it Burnley?
Yeah. Royal Burnley.
Sorry?
Royal Burnley.
Royal B, RB. Used to play with Smithy around Royal Burnley, which is some great memories there. Then a little bit in the UK. When I lived over there. Then I kind of gave it up for a decade or so. And I was one of those golfers that completely obsessed over it when the pandemic hit, because up in Sydney, we had a course that was well within my radius. And my father has also played religiously every Saturday at 6:15 at Royal Wallara in Sydney. And I got back into it to spend some time with my dad, and then obsessively joined Bonnie Doon up in Sydney and played a lot. And then, like most things in my life, completely obsessively until I burnt out and I didn't end up playing for 2 years.
Right. So were you, now people are generally pretty humble when it comes to this, but how good were you? Did you get a handicap and what did you get down to?
I did. I only got it during the pandemic and I only got down to 13 point something, 13.8.
Hey, that's good. That's good.
So,
I
was if it was somewhere between 80 and 100, and it was probably closer to 100 sometimes, but when I'd get good, I'd kind of was all right, but I was, it's the endless pursuit of a game that we can never master, gentlemen.
There's about 10 people in the world who are good at golf.
Yeah.
And then there's everyone else.
Yes. Dan, over the years, I mean, you've done, I'm sure you've done triathlons and marathons and all the, all the high octane kind of sports. You're in the new film Beast. We'll get to that very soon. It's mixed martial arts. Like, what does golf give you? Like, golf isn't high octane. It's not like, but what does it give you compared to some of those other sports?
What I used to love about it was one of the rare times now I've gone back to it, but it's one of the rare times I turned my phone off. So to have, even 2 hours for 9 holes or have a whole afternoon with my dad or with some mates and go and get some steps in and think about, it's one of those sports that if you're not completely thinking about that and only that, your game goes out the window immediately. So I loved the idea that 1, it was outdoors, 2, I get to spend some time with my dad or some great mates, but 3, I had to be completely present, and it forced me to be really kind of relaxed and present. And if I wasn't either of those things, I couldn't hit the ball.
Dan, can you remember the best score, the lowest score you've had, and have you had a hole in one?
Never have I had a hole in one. And oftentimes I'll stand on a tee box and go, "This is it," and just trying to manifest it. And I now talking about one of my great takeaways was I got down to 39 going around 9 holes at Wallara at my dad's course, which is great. But it must be. It's got to be my 84, 85, like in that realm.
At Bonnie Doon, because Bonnie Doon's pretty tough.
No.
Yeah.
This would have been, it probably would have been Woolaway years ago, but no, it's not. It's not recent. Bonnie Doon's tricky, and I loved it. And so during that time, I could never master that, but some great courses, obviously up around here. The Oz, I love the Oz. New South Wales, extraordinary.
Yeah.
So that the network of friends and golfers, some great places. Yeah.
Dan, I pass through Bonnie Doon to get the Cobra and Barooga each year. That's where I camp each summer. And whenever I go through Bonnie Doon, I sing the song. Do you sing the song every time you get to Bonnie Doon?
People thought I felt a bit odd, particularly in Victoria. I said, "Where you're a member of?" I go, "I'm Bonnie Doon," and that.
Yeah.
No, it's not that one. It's a completely different one. It's a cool one.
It's a different place.
It's the fancy Bonnie Doon right there.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan, they say you learn a lot about someone on the golf course. What sort of a golfer are you? Have you ever broken a club? Have you ever thrown a club? Have you ever had an absolute meltdown?
There is a long ball Lehmo, which I made the mistake of picturing what that would look like.
85-year-old Lehmo has a double meaning.
One of the moments of my life that I still wake up at 3 a.m. and go, "What'd you do that for?"
Yeah.
Was at the Jack Newton Celebrity Golf Classic up at Cypress Lakes, and on the final day, and there was some pro-am. Actually, there's 2 now I think about it. But that one coming up the 18th, big crowd around, and I've completely mishit my maybe like 9 iron. 100 out, completely chunked it, and I've thrown the club just in front of everybody, like not even thinking.
Yeah.
But it boomeranged
around
onto the green and tore up a strip of the 18th green. In front of everybody.
That's no good. Yeah.
And I had the men's pro guys coming up, a couple of groups behind us. And James Tompkins was the one who I was like, "Oh, James, I feel terrible." And just in his kind of tall, quiet, goes, "Yeah, it wasn't very good." Oh, sorry, James. I'm sorry, everybody, and I'm sorry to game of golf.
Oh dear. I mean, you have those moments though where you light up with rage when your expectations are not met with the shot you played.
Well, to be fair, but speaking of expectations, but before I kind of really got a hang of the game, it was the first year Tiger Woods came out to Australia, and was it Kingston Heath or one of the Sandbelt courses that he came out to?
Yeah.
And I was in one of the pro-ams with IBF and Warnie and an amazing group, except I was by far the worst golfer. And Tiger and his group were coming down the opposite fairway. And the crowds were like, at that point, unlike anything we'd ever seen in Australian golf, that first time Tiger was here. And I have sprayed one.
Oh, no.
Like straight into the crowd. And we go over, and this poor guy's got a lump.
Oh my God.
They have to call medics, and I was much younger than I am now, and I didn't know how to react.
And that man, I believe, was James Tompkins.
Sorry, what? Sorry. I felt the ghost of James Tompkins.
I thought you were going to say it was Tiger Woods. That would have been an incident.
Did
Oh,
you?
mate, no, I really did a number on this poor bloke. And so I remember someone on social media came up and said, yeah, and then he came over and he was a bit of a dickhead about it and walked off. And I was I felt. So anyway.
Can you remember when you hit that shot that went into the crowd that was watching Tiger, did you yell "4" and did the crowd disperse at all?
Yeah, of course I did. Of course I did. And
one of those subdued fours.
No one was watching our direction. They were watching the big cat come down to the opposite fairway.
I must say, when we've been lucky enough to play a couple of the pro-ams, and I don't necessarily get nervous about now the idea of fluffing a shot, because it's like, I'm a comedian, nobody expects me to be, good.
Yeah.
But what I do get a bit nervous about is exactly what happened there, like hitting one into the crowd, or hitting long on a green where there's people around, and that's what makes me nervous about those days.
Yeah, me too. I don't know about you guys, but I was always nervous playing those really good courses as I was learning the game. I was really scared of taking divots. I didn't want to ruin these courses, but then finally got some good coaching and some good teaching, and it was like, no, if you're not doing that, you're not playing the game right. It's that's what you meant to do. Oh, cool.
That's really fascinating, Dan, because we were at Titleist last week getting measured for new wedges, and I was just warming up with a 9-iron. And there were already a few divots there, but I was just trying to kind of protect the surface. And all of them were flat and skinny. And he, JL, the bloke, the coach out there, he said, you got to take some grass, and understand these wedges. They're designed. You're not going to bring that much up, to be honest.
The loft.
Get underneath.
Let the loft do its job.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, Dan, you mentioned Warnie there was in your group as well. How did Warnie hit him?
Well, mate, I mean, Damien, you guys know, but the guys that come from a hand-eye coordination background in this game are light years ahead of any of the rest of us. But great, mate. He was in his element, mate. It was at his absolute best,
He's Australia's John Daly.
Yeah. We used to call him John Daly. If you look back when he debuted at his haircut and his weight, very much John Daly.
Yeah.
But he loved whether it was cricket or golf. He loved a crowd, didn't he?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
He did. Or he loved one of his teammates hitting the ball into the crowd, which happened on this day.
No, I remember looking around. He was there kind of leaning on his bag, just waiting for this kid off Neighbours to get back on the fairway, mate. It was... again, there's a couple of moments of golf that really do haunt me.
Maybe before we got the beast out on stand on June 4, but you mentioned Neighbours. Take us back to the halcyon days of Neighbours. You were there during the peak years of Neighbours. What was that experience like?
So I moved to Melbourne straight out of high school. I was 17. Lived at home in Sydney, and then all of a sudden I'm living with my manager's sister and her family in their granny flat down Bayside, and doing shopping centre appearances before social media and smartphones. On the cover of Dolly magazine and things like that. And there was a very hard 180 from year 12 at high school to year 1 in Melbourne. So I had Jesse Spencer, Brooke Satchwell, Jacinta Stapleton, Ian Smith and Ann Charleston was still there. Tom Oliver was still there playing Lou. Dr. Carl Jacks, so it was Fletch and Jacks. Yeah, it was a great era of cast to come into. But I had no idea what I was doing because I'd never had an acting lesson. I was picked off the side of a road at a triathlon of all things. And I remember when it started going to air, my friends were like, "You're just smiling all the time. It's like you're just stoked to be there." I was like, "Yeah, I am. This is great. I'm hanging out with all these famous people.
I'm having a great time." And did you get a sense of how that translated for you in the UK?
I did, because I'd lived and worked in the UK. I went to school. Sorry, I went to school in the UK when I was much younger. In 88, 89, my dad was working over there, and I remember then when we went over, I was 8 years old. All the cab drivers wanted to know was what happens in Neighbours, because it was a year ahead or a year behind or something over there. And so we knew that it was, had a following over there, but I had no inkling that in 12 or 13 years' time, I'd be back over there as an 18 or 19-year-old doing panto or theatre or ultimately living, in London. It's been an incredible, the whole thing's 30 years down the track. The whole thing's been an incredible adventure. I was back at the Channel 10 building last week, jumping in to do Have You Been Paying Attention, and back with in the old studio that has done the panel and done the project and done everything in there, and it's cool, man. And Melbourne was such a special part of that. Like Melbourne embraces sort of Melbourne talent in a way it's very unique, I reckon, and it always feels like I've got the keys to the city, down there because I started there so young.
Well, you must love because you not only, like I said, you're so talented, but you're
So, Dan, tell us about what sort of training was involved, because in the clips that we've seen from the film, you do quite literally look like a beast.
ripped.
Well, yeah, I had to start from, funnily enough, the very, very beginning, which is I had to go and find a boxing coach. So the first person I spoke to was Paul Gallen, who plays up here at the Sharkies. And he was doing his boxing stuff. I was like, Gallen, I need a boxing coach. So I did boxing, and then I jumped into jiu-jitsu, and I jumped into Muay Thai. And then I realized that MMA was a completely unique sport all of its own. And all those things need to go together. And, if you've got a bit of karate or wrestling or everything, it all goes into that mix. But there's a very unique language that's spoken in MMA. And then I kind of had to put on the muscle to be able to be a character called the Beast, and then get down to the body fat that was a believable body fat for a 44-year-old diving back into a cage, knowing that that's going to be on screen in 4K HD for the rest of my life. So there was a little bit of that as well.
That's fascinating. That
like caffeine, pure vanity.
I love the idea of the balance of an actor trying to get the role right and honor the character, and just pure ego of like this is.
Pure ego. So I've sort of started at the stop. I've got to look like a good boxer. I've got to have at least 4 abdominals, maybe 5 or 6. Then I've got to turn around and act opposite Russell Crowe. And and funny that maybe it says a lot. That was the bit I was focused on, because by that point it was Russell and I's third film together. We had a great working relationship. We had a great friendship, and any of those nerves from the very first time that we worked together had gone out the window. And I was in the hot seat. I was in every scene every day from start to finish. I was carrying the story, on my shoulders throughout the entire shoot with Russell in a supporting role, and he again elevates everybody and everything that he is a part of, and there's a great responsibility that came with it. So I had to flex my working muscles from every area of my skill set to the nth degree in a way that I'd never done in my career before. So I loved it. I loved working at that intensity, at that level of commitment, for that duration, trying to make people believe that I was an ex-world champion MMA fighter.
And well, I think you pull it off beautifully. But on working with Russell Crowe, legendary actor, 3 movies now, as you say, is there a pearl of wisdom or a couple of pearls of wisdom that he's given you from an acting perspective along the way that have really sort of stayed with you? Just sometimes it can be the simplest bit of advice that sticks with you.
See if you recognise this. There's this look that he.
Oh, yes. Yes, he does.
And he doesn't have to say anything.
No.
I need one more. Just one more take, but So he does most things with a look, but he's the first scene we ever stepped on was on Poker Face, and I remember that first time. After he had two big close-ups on me. It was my first scene, and he was like, "How did that feel?" And I was like, "Oh, it was all up here." And he was like, "Yeah." But then fast forward 3 years later, 3 films together. We're in the opening four minutes of this film is this rousing coach's speech, getting his fighter to go out into a gladiatorial, no pun intended, but into a gladiatorial contest, and this great kind of psych-up speech that we still get that goosebumps watching it. And we did it sort of third time, and it was amazing. And the director came in and said, "Guys, that's great. I love it. I'm going to use that." And da-da-da. And Russell, so he goes, "I think we can do one better." Okay, great. And so the fourth take that we did, which is you do this, you do that, we'll time this a bit better, we'll do this, fantastic. That's the one that's in the movie. That opening scene is what we sold the entire film on around the world, as the first 4 minutes of Beast. And that was probably the first time in my career I could look at something on a screen and go, I literally went toe-to-toe with one of the greatest cinema actors of all time and held my own against a master. And that's the beginning of this film, and off we go. So, Pete, you said it feels like a new phase and a new beginning, and that's certainly how it feels from over here as well.
I love it. I love it. And what's the reaction been like from the MMA community?
It's been pretty good. One of the best reactions was out of the US, where they were like, "How did you guys get a fighter and teach him how to act so well?"
Yes. Oh, nice. Yes.
We weren't sure if we wanted, I heard that with Lionsgate, that was the feedback from Lionsgate, from the executives. And it was like, and there's plenty of reviews around the world, which is like, these guys are obviously all fighters and they're pretty good actors and they're da-da-da-da-da. It's like, but so I think we fooled them, in that. And that said, Bren Foster, who plays Xavier, the bad guy, he is a lifetime martial artist. He's a 10-time world champion. He's a black belt in 4 disciplines. He owns a martial arts school. He is a bona fide action movie star. And I had to work up to his level and work opposite him, and it was choreographed by him and his team. So the pressure was on everywhere I turned, for the injury. But that's how I love working, and it gets the best results. And when you get an opportunity like this, which is kind of the perfect storm of the right character, the right time in your life, the right time for me as an actor, but also as a father and as aging parents and life and post heartbreak and divorce and grief and all those things you have to experience in life to sort of understand all these emotions that you need as an actor. That I didn't, obviously have when I stepped onto Ramsay Street many years ago when we talk about those beginnings. But to be able to step into a role like this at this time in my life and in my career and have it opposite someone like Russell is a really, that doesn't happen very often. So I'm pretty grateful for that one.
Well, mate, we have to let you go, but we cannot wait for June 4. Beast arrives on Stan here in Australia. If you're listening around the world, just Google it, check it out. We can't do all the...
it's everywhere at the moment.
Everywhere.
It's hard to miss. But most importantly, when are we playing golf?
Yeah,
exactly. I was going to say,
we're on.
Is there any golf in the movie Beast at all? Does he go out one day to chill and play quick 9 holes?
I think there's a golf club, but it's not being used for golf.
Right, okay. Close enough.
Yeah.
Just have a word to Russ maybe about a golf movie for the 4 of us. Okay.
Well, he's up close to Bonville Golf Club.
Oh, we've been talking about Bonville.
Coffs Harbour. So
Okay.
Maybe we'll pop up and jump in there.
Now we're talking.
Now we're talking. Mate, we cannot wait for the next phase of Dan MacPherson's career. You deserve it. You deserve all the honours, all the accolades, and all the praise, mate. You're a great bloke and a great actor.
Yes.
And, yes, and a great golfer too, obviously. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Thank you, Dan.
Guys, great to see
Thanks, Dan. Good luck, mate.
Thanks, legend. Make Me Good at Golf is all about lowering your handicap. And with Dan Murphy's on board, we're lowering more than just your scores. With their lowest liquor price guarantee, Dan's make sure you're never overpaying for that well-earned drink after your hit with mates. Whether it's a post-round beer or a celebratory bubbly for that unexpected eagle on the 14th, how good is that? Dan Murphy's has your back. Great drinks, lowest prices, and always within reach, online or in store. Dan Murphy's, proud sponsors of Make Me Good at Golf and even prouder price cutters. T's and C's apply. Remember to drink wise. Thank you, Dan MacPherson.
Great.
Stan, June 4. Get onto it and support this locally made film. And well done, Dan MacPherson.
Hey, did you two notice the friction between me and Dan, the Neighbours actors? Were you two ever on Neighbours?
I've been on Neighbours.
Have you?
I'm not sure if I did Neighbours, actually.
I don't think you did.
I think I should know if I did Neighbours. I don't think I did.
Mate, it was hard for me because it was when Channel 10.
Like, I did, like, sometimes you play yourself. I did Secret Life of Us and a few other kind of shows like that.
Lehmo, long ball, did I ask about whether you've been on Neighbours? You've been on it. Me, Dan. It was during Channel 10's BBL. I had to go on that. And guess what I had to play?
You?
No, a BBL commentator.
Oh, how'd you do that?
And mate, it's hard because I'm more a method actor, so I had to get into that.
Oh, God.
But starring next to me was Meg Lanning, the Australian women's captain, and Shane Watson, right?
Yeah.
And if you thought Shane Watson's batting was wooden, mate, you should have seen his acting. It was a bloody nightmare.
Right.
I just thought there was a bit of friction there between me and Dad.
But yeah,
who'd you play?
I played myself. I played Lehmo, the comedian. I was in a comedy room, and what happens in the scene, in the original script, before it was Lehmo in the script, it was a comedian is dying on stage.
Oh, I get Lehmo.
Lehmo, yeah.
Just do your usual stuff.
And they have a kid, the kid who was on Neighbours for years, he's run away and 2 guys are chasing him and he runs into the comedy club and up on the stage. And he grabs the mic, and he's really funny.
Oh,
the kid.
Okay.
So then they pitched it to me, and I said, "I'm not going to. I have to be funny.
Yes.
Like I'm not going to die on stage."
No.
And they were like, "Yeah, sure, that's fine. You just be funny on stage, and then he'll come up. He'll be funny as well." Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm episode number.
It's just what
12,971 or something.
Brilliant career. But when they reflect, there'll be one little thing that's missing.
I think actually Neighbours, towards the back of Neighbours, there's something came up. They offered me something, and for some reason it didn't happen. And I remember thinking, that would have been a nice thing to do. It would have been a nice thing to do. When Shane Watson was acting, though, and he wanted another take, did he give it that one? Did he give that one?
No, seriously.
Yeah,
first time, that's funny. Not by the 20th time. It was a nightmare. It was my greatest performance.
Yeah.
Including Slumdog Millionaire.
There we go.
The box set will be available soon.
You are an Academy Award winner. And let's hope we have some Academy Award winning performances in this week's Drummond's.
Yes.
Make Me a Golfing Legend.
Boom.
Rob, have the entries been flooding in?
We've got a few this week.
Oh, geez.
Very, very exciting. And, of course, we are going to be giving away a $1,000 gift voucher today, which is exciting. Let's kick things off with Lee Davis.
Okay.
He just said, here's a quick video. Things are grim when the animals are laughing at your form. So let's check this one out.
That's great.
That is great.
Good. I
like it.
Yeah,
It's a good start.
That's a very strong
good
start.
start.
Good,
Very
strong
good, very
start.
I love that. So for people playing along at home, he just missed a putt.
Yes.
By the way.
Yes. Yeah, try to catch this on YouTube. If you go to YouTube, you can watch these videos. The videos are funny when you can see them.
Yes.
Yeah, I did have someone say to me last week, can you guys just describe a little better what's going on with the videos? Because he goes, I listen to the pod in the car and I need more information.
I like the feedback. It's good feedback.
Yeah, that's good feedback. So we'll be.
But my feedback to that is Watch it on YouTube as well.
Yeah, watch it in the car while you're driving.
Next one comes from Hayden Tomlinson. This follows off the back of our incident with Broden Kelly. He says, boys, I've got a ball hit story.
Oh, no.
Playing at Carnarvon in Sydney. My mate is on the green. Another guy in the group was about 150 metres out. My mate decides to line up a birdie putt while he's waiting. The next thing he knows, the guy sprays one, and he's knocked out for about 30 seconds. But he's shared the photo. So let's take a look at the photo.
Forehead hit.
That would sting.
Big bruise.
Yeah, you don't want to get in
on the
there.
forehead.
Broden was kind of lucky he copped it to the nose. You don't want it in there.
No, no good.
No.
Knocked out for 30 seconds. That's serious business.
Yeah, very serious business.
Okay. All right.
Do they have concussion tests on golf courses?
No, I think I would have failed at most rounds I played.
I'm not sure if the concussion test that Tommy Little was giving Broden Kelly was the official.
I'd like to know what Tommy was saying.
Yep. Next one comes from Bob. He says, taking on your advice to film all my par threes. Unfortunately, I topped the first one, but we managed to video the next two. So let's have a look.
Okay.
He's done it again.
So he is.
Just to set the scene,
This is Robbie.
first par three, probably 10 metres. Second par three, probably 30 metres. And it's bouncing down the hill.
This can't win. This is trash.
He looks very familiar.
This
That
is trash.
When you hear that,
What is
it
this?
is bouncing down the hill.
Yeah.
Come on, Rob.
all right.
For those,
That swing needs a bit of work too, by the way, Rob.
and for those in their car, that was Rob, the voice you're hearing. He brings us
Entered his own video.
into his own video. Trying
Into the Make Me Golfing
sneak
legend.
one in.
No $1,000 voucher for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love some clubs. I'd love some clubs. So just throwing it out
He's
there.
an excellent sport. He's had a tough. He's had a tough
It's
few
a
years.
tough time. Anyway, you got a new
Tough time for
coach.
Yeah.
Things are on the up.
But there we go, boys. We got me plus two real ones, so you can make a decision on who's going to the grand final.
It's the laughing Crowe. The Crowe laughing at the missed putt.
Yeah. Just
much as-
timed as it missed.
It's
the
timed
hole.
perfectly. Very funny. And we're sending our love to the dude who was knocked out by the golf ball, by
Yeah.
the way. But I think
Yeah, I agree. And I was expecting a kookaburra. So my mind went in, when you get something a little bit different than you're expecting.
Yeah.
laugh kookaburra laugh.
Yes.
Where that's
I'd love to hear a kangaroo laugh. Can they laugh?
Can they're more
Have
of
you
a,
ever heard a kangaroo laugh?
more of a titter.
Yeah, more like more of a cat vibe.
So if you hear that,
vibe and
is that
attitude.
laugh?
Oh, that's a kangaroo laughing.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, let's watch that one more time,
you're just-
and then we're going to watch the other grand finalist,
we
and we'll make a decision. So, of course.
Oh, this is
sorry,
a $1,000 voucher now.
No,
Rob, don't put your video back up there.
Sorry. There we go.
Yeah, that.
Okay, that's funny. And
should have
also,
And he's not happy either,
and
is
the
he?
ball has done that infuriating thing on a putt where it wraps around the hole
And
and
goes
the ball
behind it.
ends up behind the
Behind
hole
it.
from where you're
Yeah.
But
standing.
he already cracked the shits before the laughter too, so that's just double fault.
Oh, yeah, that
brilliant.
Crowe was really
Yes.
sinking the boots in.
And then this was the one from last week. So this was
the Crowe had 40 Stableford points, by the way.
this was Hugh Kelly.
Oh, this is funny. Bunker madness, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's put it to music. He's had one shot in the bunker.
Yeah.
He's gone bunker to bunker.
How big are the bunkers and,
now
how
he's in-
many?
Now he's in the next bunker. And he's still in it. So that's his second bunker shot. He's going out. He's hit it in again. That's his third bunker shot. He's still in. That's his fourth bunker
He's
shot.
playing the same shot too. Give it a bit more.
And that's his fifth bunker shot. Now he's lining up for his sixth bunker shots. Now he picks it up and throws it onto the green. So that is 6 shots in the bunker.
Well, 5 shots in the throw.
5
Yeah,
shots in a throw. Yeah.
That's nice. I like it.
So we're going to pick a winner.
Yep.
Out of those two.
Oh,
Look,
I love the timing of the Crowe laughter, but I do like the effort put in with the.
well, I knew you
editing.
would, Pixels.
Yeah, see, I'm more that guy, and
yeah.
I wish I'd done the pixels for that. I look at that.
Do you see
it's
some
hard for me.
improvements, some tweaking you'd like to do?
What about an emoji? You know what I mean? So,
Pete, what's your gut?
I was hoping you wouldn't make me choose. Geez, it's close. I'm gonna go for the Crowe laughing. That's my vote.
That's
Flem?
enough. That's enough. Yep,
What do
I'll
you-
go that. I'll go
Crowe
that.
laughing?
Both were very good.
They're both awesome and massive ups to the effort put into the bunker
Yep.
video,
Yes.
by the way.
Yep.
But yeah, Crowe laughing, just the timing's too perfect.
Timing of it.
Even there, I wouldn't have mind a emoji on that. And I encourage everyone sending in videos.
Okay.
Just an appropriate
At a mo-
emoji at the right time.
If you
like a birdie.
if you don't want Peter Wright to vote for you, cover your video in emojis. You will definitely get one vote.
Yeah. Great episode, Rob.
Congrats, Lee Davis, $1,000 Drummond
$1,000
voucher coming your way.
very Drummond.
And we're excited to say as well, June is a Replicharge month. So if you've been featured and you haven't won, you're back in the hunt
bring it in.
Back
for
in.
June.
It's
But
not over.
continue anyway to send your clips in.
Yep.
DM us on the Make Me Good at Golf Instagram page, and we'd love to get have a fresh round of entries.
Yep. Otherwise,
to-
Bob might come back again. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And also, you were talking about YouTube too. The Comedians Cup videos going very well.
Going off,
But
yeah.
just comments on our shows and all that, or a little bit of feedback. We'll take it on board.
Indeed. And also, if you're listening to the podcast, review and
Yeah.
rate the podcast as well.
Yeah.
So
like and subscribe, as my son constantly says, and he has no
As an
channels anywhere.
independent person, what would you give us for that show?
For that
We just
episode,
did, yeah.
there, I'd give it 5 stars.
And what about a comment? Like,
I'd be highly complimentary
Yes.
of all the golf podcasts out there. None that I've ever listened to have been more relevant,
Yep.
more hilarious,
Yes.
had more high profile guests,
More insightful.
have been more insightful, have been more helpful,
yes.
have been
I
more
laughed,
current,
I cried.
and have
Yep.
been more at the heart of the zeitgeist than that episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do yourselves a favour, get on board.
Yep. And just a little emoji thumbs up. Just to
Oh, for God's sake.
that was
Make me
good at
golf.
golf emoji.